Smart Cinema is really interesting because it gives us a space which, for participants, somebody comes in to be involved in one of our studies, they'll feel like they're in a cinema.
It is a full cinema, so it's got cinema quality sound and visuals. That in itself kind of sets it apart from other research facilities that kind of do audience research, because it is, to all intents and purposes, a real cinema. So you're really replicating that cinema experience.
We've got 36 seats that are all instrumented, which basically means we have lots of pieces of technology that we can use. So there'd be tablets, we can use our trace, that will enable us to look at motion of people's faces and bodies if we want as well. Within the auditorium, we'll have EEG headsets, lots of equipment that we can use to study people while they're watching film, and we'll be able to study 36 people in one go.
There will be cameras filming the audience, both in the infrared, thermal cameras and visible spectrum cameras. We'll be able to do heart rate monitoring, we'll be able to do EEG, we'll be able to do skin conductance, we'll ask questions, there'll be questionnaires, there'll be spaces after the performance where people can get into focus groups and have discussions and talk about what they've seen and experienced. But it also, like every laboratory, it will be ultimately flexible when a new technology comes along, and there will be new technologies in the next few years, which will allow us to enhance our understanding of the audience. We'll be able to bolt that into that space. So it's a really exciting space. It's a space we can develop the next generation of techniques and methods, really looking like 10 years forward, 15 years forward. But at the same time, we want to take the existing technologies that we're really confident about into real audiences and say, can we understand people who are in the theatre in Bristol? Or can we understand people who turn up to a gig and listen to live music? Can we understand their experience a bit more? It's like a jumping off point. It's like a base camp from which we can go out and take exciting new ways of understanding audiences to real venues.
I think there's always a worry when you talk about physiological monitoring of audiences. It sounds quite invasive, but really the data we're capturing is not really much different from if you go to a cinema, you're being recorded anyway. If you go online, a lot of the data that you give on social media sites can tell you a lot about people. And obviously all the research we conduct is subject to the kind of typical research ethics that psychology researchers are committed to. So we can allay those worries.
People's heart rate data is really sensitive information. How quickly AI is progressing, it might be identifiable data. People's brain waves, like that might be sensitive data. This kind of data that we collect, we have to do it in a very careful way. We have to do it in a way that is very anonymous, very protected. It has that layer of going through academic research and rigor to make sure that nothing kind of bad happens with the results that we get.
Any film company that is interested in using audience research within the development of a piece of content could make really great use of the cinema and provide a fantastic collaboration opportunity with us as researchers. Within the sheds also there's kind of VR capabilities, so all sorts of interesting stuff that can be done on site, not just in the cinema but also in the other facilities there. And because every seat in the cinema has a dedicated laptop, it's not beyond the realm of possibility that you could look at gaming or something that requires each audience to have their own display. There's no reason that we couldn't attempt to do something like that. There's endless possibilities with such a fantastic facility.